Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time reviewing on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game. Now, as you know, after getting the Cowabunga collection for Christmas, I have been deciding to go through each and every different Turtles game to give my thoughts on. And after doing Turtles in Time, I decided to do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game port, which was known in Japan as TMNT Super Kami Ninja. And keep in mind the arcade game was released in North America in October the 11th in 1989. And while you also had it, what's interesting is, Japan had the arcade port in June 1990. So the premise of the arcade game is meant to follow you as the Turtles, at first rescuing April O'Neil, and later on trying to rescue Master Splinter, as well as going through various obstacles to save them, as well as dealing with other villains from the TV show. And keep in mind, we wouldn't have all of the certain iconic mutants just yet. So what's actually interesting is, when you actually do play in the first level, you are going to have Rocksteady when you're trying to save April in her sort of Channel 6 office. Also, you are going to have you're going to have Bebop in one part in level 2 when you're in the city. Also, Baxter Stockman in the sort of sewers in his human form, and has his certain mouses in that. And you're going to have Bebop and Rocksteady together. Then you're going to have Krang's Rock Warriors, and then you're going to have Krang himself, and then the Shredder. I would say some of the boss battles aren't too bad. I think what I like about the Krang one, it feels like that certain King Kong kind of cheesy boss, where you are going to have him laugh as soon as he hits you. He's going to know these certain moves which you're going to be prepared for. And I think what's actually interesting about Shredder's boss battle is, when you battle both Shredders together, you are going to need to try and figure out how to beat him. But the trick is, you need to separate the two Shredders away, knock one of the helmets off, and make sure to do the same to the other one. Because if you defeat the first one right away, it will basically start it all over again. So you are going to need to be extra careful. And the same way I would say, like with most Turtle games, the same with Shredder's Revenge. You are going to be on your skateboard dealing with guns, bombs, different coloured ninjas, like some having sledgehammers, the blue ones having swords, the sort of Krang robots that kind of shoot out electrical wires at you. And you are going to deal with mouses and that. And you're going to have the pizza boxes that give you health. And I think for the most part, I think it's not a bad game. I think, the arcade port is just starting out. So, and again, it gives you and your friends time to play as Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, or Michelangelo. And I think, for the most part, I would say, it does kind of still play true to what the show was. And I think what's actually interesting in the NES port, you also had Toa, Shogun, as well as enemy characters like Venom in the NES port, and Vincent Van Gogh in the NES ones. So more like different sort of random bosses. And I think, as an arcade game, you can really tell they were trying to kind of keep it almost like the show. And I get it, since the show was probably on its 3rd or 4th season, it was still trying to find that sort of arcade thing that I think Turtles in Time and I think Shredder's Revenge were able to do. And I think the point of a boss battle in the Ninja Turtles game, you want to bring past mutants, villains, and characters from the show that people know, and you want to kind of show your audience that you are paying respect to the show, and that you want to show your audience that, yeah, you are a Ninja Turtles fan, so you want to do this out of respect. So I think the arcade game of the first Ninja Turtles game definitely deserves thumbs in the middle. Well, it's not a bad one. You could tell it was just starting out, so you know there's a lot more time, ideas, and that they wanted to do, and you gotta give them respect for what they were having to try and settle with. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.